Hi everyone, I am Winslow, and today, after many edits and a lot of drive maintenance, we are going to tackle the Manticore. The Manticore is the sole guardian of the Scorched Earth arc. My plan was originally to show you all three, Gamma, Beta, and Alpha, but the recording got totally crunched because my drive ran out of space and OBS didn't tell me until I went to convert the recording and start editing. I lost the Beta and Alpha kills, but I went back and at least did Beta again. I didn't have the desire to farm up 60 more Wyvern talents, so I'll probably sprinkle that somewhere on the channel later. We're going to start on Gamma. This is the easiest of the three arena fights, and probably the easiest arena fight in all of ARC. There are some tricky mechanics that you really should be mindful of though. Entering the arena, you will be on a platform. This arena is the only one where you can bring in flyers because the Manticore spends a lot of time up in the air. I chose to go with the Carno Force today for my kills, and they did really amazing. The Manticore has a few main attacks. It does a bite and a claw, and it will shoot out poison from its scorpion tail, and when landed it will do a tail swipe that applies a poison debuff over time. You definitely want to make sure the tame is hit by this, not you. His poison attacks do very little damage, but the real danger in them is that they deal torpor damage. The tail swipe has a 180-second timer on it, and when applied it adds a large increase to your torpor. If he swipes you again and refreshes the debuff, your torpor doesn't really increase any higher until the debuff ends. I'll show you what happens with that in a bit. For now, just try to use the pillars to break line of sight with the Manticore, and mostly keep everyone on passive, with a whistle to attack. You can keep them on neutral, but that can be problematic as the fight progresses. You are just wanting to wait until the Manticore lands, and then you can assault him. You can also use a smaller tame that allows rider weaponry, like the Daeodon, and shoot rockets at him or bullets or whatever you have for arsenal. I choose to stay in the UD just for safety. When the Manticore lands, deathworms spawn on the arena floor. We've seen the Carno Force demolish them in the past, so I'm not very worried, plus I'm happy to get more deathworm horns so I can tame a mantis. With strong saddles and about 10,000 hit points, Carnos will easily tear through this arena fight. The deathworms will stay mostly submerged until the Manticore takes off back up into the air, sometimes though they can get a bit weird. Just keep the damage boost on your tames up, and make sure they focus on the Manticore while he's on the ground. Here, I think he was going to take off, but it somehow was blocked. The deathworms popped out and then just resubmerged. Below 50% health, there will be several rock elementals that will spawn. You can bring rockets or other explosives if you stay up on the platform, or if you're good with whistles, you can mostly just ignore them. I was very fortunate on this Gamma fight that once the Manticore landed, he didn't fly back up into the air. This was probably one of the easiest runs of this that I've ever had. When defeated, you will get a boss explorer note and also some trophies. There's a head and a flag and then element. The Manticore also gives you armor skins that are pretty great looking. I always check the corpse to make sure that the trophy and element aren't inside. Sometimes they won't transfer out to the tame that got the killing blow. Make sure to stay dismounted when the counter reaches 0. Teleporting while mounted can do some weird things. There's also a visual game bug that I'm not sure if it's just me or everyone, but it makes all shadows pitch black, and so I just relogged to clear it. Back at the teleporter pad, you will have a bit of time to wait. Your tames will need to clear the torpor that they've gained from the Manticore. It's not required, but it's very good to do before you go in and fight it again. If the tame falls unconscious, you can use stimberries or stimulant to wake it up, but it can still take a very long time. The Yudi ended up gaining about 50% torpor after the fight, with the debuff adding about 25% on top of that. I parked the Carno Force and went back to do some chores at base. I've been hatching and leveling Argent Tavis to use on the Alpha fight, and I needed to make some saddles. I also started working on 2 Poison Wyverns and wanted to get them some experience. My hope was just to take the Argies and Wyverns into the Alpha fight, but I ended up changing my mind. The Carno Force is just too powerful. Now, I looked through the Carno inventory 3 or 4 times, and I must have just missed this one. I have had some times where the trophy and element just vanish. A couple of hours later, I came back for beta, and that was where the recording got corrupted. Several more hours later, when I realized this, I took everyone back and did beta again. I hope you enjoy beta fight. Often, when fighting the Manticore, he will simply just refuse to land, and in those cases I recommend heading back up to the platform with your tames following and on passive, and just let loose with bullets. As he takes damage, he will choose to land, and while up on the platform, you're mostly safe from deathworms and rock elementals. This could have been a very deadly situation. Pinned down by 3 elementals, and if deathworms popped up, my tames would have basically been in a blender. Thankfully, it didn't happen. Behold the power of the Carno Force. Here is an Explorer note for the Extinction Chronicles. It's part of a cosmetic armor set up that gives some lore for what happened before Extinction launched. Now that the fight is done, I want to quickly get everyone back to or near home. Poison debuff timer is ticking down, and I really don't want to pass out in the battle. You can see my torpor rising at an alarming rate. I'll leave this big guy here to slumber and dream of better places than this desert wasteland. I'm going to wrap this all up here. I want to thank everyone again for all of the support that they've given to my little corner of YouTube. You've helped me grow from 17 subscribers to 64 in 6 weeks, and I see this as an enormous accomplishment. I am going to get the Aberration server set up, and will probably open it up to subscribers depending on the level of interest. Thank you again for helping to make this a great series. Your support means the world to me, and we'll catch up next time.